look at me, I'm just right here dressed like discounted or mosey style. But I'm making some content anyway, and I'm going to show you why it's extremely important that you actually do the same for your gym and how you can make it extremely simple. Let's dive into this one. It's Gabriel, my friends. If you don't know me, we help gym owners to get to 7 figures and above using and systematizing cloud acquisitions using a whole bunch of automation sales systems and proven digital marketing strategies. Now, I'm not going to bother you with who I am because you don't give a shit, to be honest. You came to this video to actually go ahead and learn something on how to grow a business, which I'm going to provide to you now. So, content creation. This is one of the things that I know nobody wants to do, but I think you don't understand the power and the importance of it. So let me show you how powerful and how useful and tangible it can actually be, because most people don't see how tangible making content is and how it can truly help your business grow in a visible sense. But I'm going to show you exactly what it helps you to achieve. Number one, by the way, I've got my notes on the side just to show you again, but you don't have to overthink it. Just go ahead and do something, post some things out. That's really the thing, but that's going to be another point. I just want to give you the importance of why it's important to create content. First, it builds familiarity. And I always love to go back to my old psychology lessons. Making content, simply by the fact of posting more content, you're going to build familiarity. So what is familiarity when you think about it? You are going to love your relatives, your friends, of course, more than the usual people. And one of the big reasons why it's the case is because they simply serve you more impressions than the average person that you never met. So that's one big thing that you can actually do with your audience is the more you're going to be posting, the more they're going to feel some kind of, relationship. Let's say you go ahead, because I'm sure you are watching some guys on YouTube, on Instagram, that you're learning from, whatever it is, the kind of person you are looking up to. If you met them on the streets, first of all, you would be able to recognize them. And second of all, think about your favorite YouTubers all. You would have some form of a positive opinion about them and kind of feel like it was their friend, even though you never met them. You can actually do the exact same thing with your content creation, which not only makes the whole sales process a whole bunch easier, but most importantly, separates you from the competition. Because let me tell you something. Second point, actually, which is authority. It builds authority. That's the second thing. When you think about it, why does Nike can charge so much for their products? Simple, because their brand, they have authority. When we think about them, we think, oh, are so big that they fill up a whole category. They're like, oh, but Gabriel, I can't do that with my gym. That's impossible. But actually you can, because it's way simpler, because you're at a local scale. So depending on the local market that you have, it's way, and I can say not depending, it's actually way easier to become an authority and a perceived person. Like when we think about solving a problem, people should be thinking about you. And when you come to that point, it's extremely powerful, because then I'm going to go into my third point, which is it becomes free advertising. Because most of you guys probably tried Facebook ads in the past. And if you don't really know how Facebook ad works, you pay per impression. So an impression is how many times the ad was served to somebody. But when you think about it, you don't pay for all the impressions you do with this content thing. So that's kind of free advertising in some way. Now, there is a way to do it and to grow that and make sure it grows properly and grows your business. But the thing is, when you think about it, you don't pay for those impressions. And I really like to see specifically YouTube as some form of a real estate investment. Because some platforms like TikTok, Instagram, all those platforms like this, but when you think about podcast and YouTube, those two platforms, I see them as real estate investments. It's like each videos I make, I'm investing in a little house, like a little property right here. So this is a tall house, but you get the idea. Gosh, I'm sorry. So sorry for what you're looking at. Well, imagine real hard this is an house, all right? I think that each time I'm going ahead and creating a piece of content, I'm having a little new house right here. And then I'm putting a new one. And then I'm putting a new one. If you take a look at on a large enough scale horizon of time, you get what actually are fucking rich, because you have so many houses. Like, even though those don't even have, those are not even protected on the top, but you get the idea. The more you're going to start posting content, the more all those pieces of content are going to start working for you. And the more of them you have, the better. Now, one of the things that people do is that they overthink it way too much. I can go into fucking hour masterclass on content creation, but we're going to keep this one simple, because most likely if you're watching this, you're not creating enough content yet, or you're not creating in any content at all. Now that you know all those things and why it's important, I'm just going to simply share with you one thing that I would say is the biggest problem that you guys are facing right now, is that you are overthinking it. You want to make it perfect before you can actually have the abilities to make it perfect. Alright? Listen to what I told you. You are overthinking it. You don't have to make it complex. Like, I'm a video, plus, like guys, I'm the master overthinker. I was a videographer in the past and a photographer, so I know how to make content look fucking great. Look at me right now. I just have a simple light source right here. Like, I just woke up, I put it on my webcam and started recording this and rambling on. I have like 3 points on my next screen right here, and I just started to ramble, But is it bad? No, because if you're still watching right now, you are getting some value out of what I'm saying because of my knowledge. And you guys are so knowledgeable about what you do. So you simply have to go ahead, turn the camera on. If you want to have a few points like I do, no problem. But you are overthinking it. You think you should make it perfect. And like guys, this is not your job is not to be a YouTuber or content creator. If this is like you, there is much more work that goes into this. But if you're watching this, you're a gym owner, you are growing a business, you are a business owner. You are not a content creator. You are just creating content, but you're not a content creator. There's a huge difference between the two. How should you go about creating content? I'm going to give you a simple framework, which I do, and it's really simple. I would say that there are two categories of content. I'm not going to go too deep into this because, again, I can go for hours on this. But you're going to have your two types of content. You've got shorts form content, which is the simplest, and everybody overthinks that one for sure. And you've got the long form. You have different routes you can go, but I'm going to show you a list of different options that you can try and see which one suits you the best. For shorts, I would say there is one general framework. I simply do a list of points I want to talk about. Little things. For example, how to shoot content. For example, how to film content. How to film. Okay, next thing, how to post. Like little things. And for you, in your situation, maybe how to do squats, how to squat. So that can be your shorts, like 30 seconds max. How to bench can be, should you take X supplements? Is this supplement actually good for you if you're in this situation? You want X goal, all right, there is one little aspect of how to do it, all right? The thing is with shorts, it's really about content. I'm just going to go a bit higher level on you for a sec, but content is really, you're solving a problem, all right? We're not dancing in front of people, all right? We are solving a problem, and that's how you get actually people to buy. So we are solving a problem. Now, the problem, you can go different levels and see it in a different way. And that's how actually I dissect my content. Depending on the problem and how long the answer is for me to solve the problem for my audience, I make it a different piece of content. So if this is something I can address in 30 to 45 seconds, or even less, is going to be your short post of content, okay? Then if it is something that requires a bit more explanations, can be 10 minutes, can be an hour, like depends on whatever it is that you want to solve, then it's going to be my long form piece of content, all right? Don't overthink it. And most likely you can tackle the same problem, but in a different way, in a different format. I can definitely go ahead and say how to, like you're overthinking content creation, just go ahead and do a short list, a long list, turn on the camera and just do it. That's a short piece of content right now. If I wanted, I can repurpose this little segment and actually make a short. So don't overthink it. Just make a list. Takes like if you're posting 1 to 2 shorts a day, it's going to take you like 15 minutes max. Then you go ahead, you put your phone on on the box or something like this, and you just smash those ones, one after the other. And in 30 minutes, I guarantee you that you're going to have a month's worth of piece of content. And plus you have a lot of softwares that makes it extremely easy for you to edit that out and actually publish those things out. I'm not going to go into that, but the process is extremely, extremely simple. So just don't overthink it. Make a list of little problems you can solve in about 10 to 45 seconds, in less than a minute. Those are going to be your shorts. Longer than this is going to be your long form. So for you guys, shorts is pretty straightforward. Just post on all the platforms that you can. So that's going to be your TikTok, your Instagram reel, your Facebook reel, and your YouTube shorts. The same piece of content, you can post it on many platforms, which is going to be a best bang for your buck because you're taking the time to do a piece of content. Make sure that everybody that has a possibility of seeing that will actually see it. That's going to be for shorts. Long piece of content, I have 2 directions that you guys, in my opinion, can take this. Really successful. You can actually do both simultaneously, but it's going to be extremely successful and extremely worth it for you guys. one I would say is mandatory. The second one is facultative, is not mandatory. If that makes sense. I would say mandatory, I'm going to do little stars on it, is going to be a YouTube channel. You have to have a YouTube channel. That's why I'm doing these YouTube videos, because YouTube is by far the one that's going to stick the longest, and it's going to stick because, TikTok changes, platforms comes and go, but YouTube is bound to stay. This is a platform that out of all of them is going to stay the most stable. So if you start putting some pieces of content on that platform, it's really going to be like I showed you, those little real estate investments you do, which is going to compound for you. All right. So YouTube, I would say, is mandatory. Then on the YouTube channel, you can just do classic YouTube videos explaining more deeper how to do a squat, something like this. But I would say one thing that also plays a lot on the authority and familiarity aspects that you can play with. If I was a gym owner, I would go ahead and go that route. Still on the YouTube channel, but I would do a different format. You can do the tutorials and things like this, solve a problem, but I would say a really interesting angle to take, and that's going to play on that familiarity and authority aspect, is going to be, especially specifically at the local level, is doing some form of a podcast. Now, do you have to talk about gym stuff all the time? No. Invite some other influential people that are in your town, people that everybody recognizes, look up to. So that way they're like, oh, I'm curious to see what, I don't know, the lawyer down the road thinks about doing something, just having a simple conversation with influential people. They actually like it because most of them may be business owners. They like the exposure, so that's great. That's a win-win for both of you guys. But for you more specifically, think about it. You're hosting a podcast. You're seen as the figure of authority, okay? And you are seeing, like, you have people that like the guys that you are inviting in, but those guys, they're going to be like, oh, they see you associated with the people that they have a positive opinion about. So automatically, you're going to create some familiarity. They're going to like you more and trust you more. Therefore, whenever, I don't know, an ad from you pops up or they see that you're running a promotion, they're way more likely to go ahead and come into the gym. So that's one of the reasons why I want you to really focus on podcast and long form content. So this one went a bit longer than what I expected, but I just wanted you to make sure that you understand it. And oh, by the way, as I mentioned, it's pretty straightforward as well. To create the long form content, you just have to make sure that the problems that you can solve, you can ramble around for around 10 minutes. Like for me, it's been like 15 minutes since I started to ramble. As you can see, I can still talk. This is one of my best skills. Know how to talk without stopping. But yeah, make sure that you list those problems that you can solve in a longer period of time in there so that you can go ahead and make this content. And by the way, if you struggle with client acquisition in some ways, we do have a way to solve that for good. That's a no risk basis for you. Click the link in the description. That's going to be the first link. If you don't want to, no problem. I don't want to push you to do it. I just want to tell you that I'm grateful that you spent this time with me today. And yeah, I'm looking forward to see you on the one. Have a good one.